We're glad to have you tuned in here with us this afternoon. Hey, we got an exciting guest that's going to be in here with us today. Tyler Barnes from North Carolina. He owns the North Carolina Flathead State record. Hey, got him right there behind it. He caught him in 2020, and we're glad to have him in the chat. Tyler, introduce yourself, man. Tell us where you're from.
Yeah, man. So what's up, everybody? So my name's Tyler Barnes. I'm from Pikeville, North Carolina, and as Stacy said, I was fortunate enough to catch the North Carolina state record flathead catfish July 20th, 2020 out of the Neuse River. So that was definitely a dream come true and a fish of a lifetime.
Yes, sir. And we got our my co-host in here. Chad, man, tell them a little bit about yourself.
Oh man, everybody knows me. I'm just hanging out and having fun. You getting ready to come up to Wheeler this in a few days?
Listen, man, my mind has been running like in a circle. Cause I'm like, man, I at least like to be respectable, and I'm like, man, I don't know if anybody else goes to this, but I'm like, where do I want to go? Where do I want to start? What do I want to look for? And just all this stuff. So, I'm telling you, I go to sleep at night thinking about what I'm going to do.
And we got Wayne Reed in the house.
Man, what's up, Wayne? Hey, I bet you if Wayne's there, I bet I know what he's doing.
Hey, he gonna drag baits.
Yes, he is. Guys, on this right as we get started this afternoon. Y'all take a few minutes because I want y'all to make sure that y'all just tag a couple of your friends that you know, invite them into the program here with us. I'd appreciate that so much. Let's get the chat up. We're already up to over 50, right around 50 people. So tag a couple of people. We just get this thing up here about 100 tonight. I'm excited to hear about the story of Tyler Barnes, and just want to say, guys, I don't know about y'all, but guess what is this week? I know I just made mention about it. But they're having the Bama Blues on Wheeler Lake, and that is going to be Saturday. And they should be live with that program, I would say. Guys, if you want to see some monster fish being weighed in, this lake right here is notorious for 60 and 70-plus pounders. And it wouldn't surprise me on tournament day that you don't see 80s and 90s.
Stacey, I've already heard of a 71, a 79, a 91, and a 109 caught this week.
A 109.
109.
109.
Hey, I bet he'll stretch your line.
Yep.
Oh man. Hey, so let me do one other thing here. I want to give a shout out to my buddy before I get started. Troy Smith. I don't know if Troy's in here with us right now. Troy, if you're in the house with us tonight, man, let us know that you're here. Troy, I just want to say I appreciate everything that you do for SmackDown Catfishing and your support that you show towards me and fishing and helping me out. I appreciate it so much. So if you're in this area where I live at here in Greenville, Georgia, you're hanging around, coming through here, stop by Rocco's, man. I'm telling you, get you some ice cream, get you a Coca-Cola, and he's probably got a bag of chips, some pizza, hamburgers, and barbecue there. So, Troy, thank you so much. Tyler, well, let's get in here. Let's talk a little bit about fishing, man.
Okay.
And I'm gonna say this because this is probably what everybody wants to hear about.
Okay.
2022, catching the Flathead state record. What was the previous state record for this?
So the previous state record was held by Brian Newberger, and he caught that. I can't remember the year. Let me see. It was 78 pounds even, and he held that record for 15 years. So when I caught this fish, I only beat it by 9 ounces.
Wow.
It was very close. And look, the nerves were unreal. I'm telling you, man.
Well, Tyler, let me ask you this. When you caught this fish, when you seen it, what went through your mind?
Oh, look, man. So I was fishing. So here in Goldsboro, North Carolina, a local tackle shop, Easy Bait and Tackle, holds a catfishing tournament, and it's pretty much a biggest fish wins kind of tournament. Top three, but the biggest fish, second biggest, third fish, and so on. So I'm fishing. I fish it every year, and I'm fishing. I'm by myself, and I pull up to this spot, man. Look, I tell you how crazy it is because I have fished this Noose River forever since I was just a kid, man. Just with my dad when I was like 8 or 9 years old. We grew up, just on the riverbank, camping, cooking, having a great time. And so as I got older and things got more serious, started going to these tournaments and fishing and traveling, and got real addicted to the sport, and have always loved competition. So anyway, I have fished this river. I know literally every bend in this place. I have got it dialed in. So it's funny, and I try to tell a lot of people that you can catch fish. Literally, there's no secret hole in this river. They can be anywhere, really, at any time. So pretty much, I started out the night fishing a deeper spot to start as the sun was going down. Didn't have much luck there. Moved to another spot I knew didn't have any luck there. And I said, you know what? I'm going to make a run. And I got this another spot that I know. So we all get stuck in these spots that we know. And, man, it's going to be a big fish there. And so anyway, so I'm going down the river, man, wide open. And there's this log jam, right? And it's okay size. It ain't nothing spectacular. And I'm going by and I'm looking back as I pass it, and I said that looked okay. I said, I'm gonna go into my spot. And I kept going there for about a minute. I said, I need to hit that. So I turned around and anchored up on the spot, and I threw it out. And I was on the phone with one of my buddies, Jacob. He's the only one that was up at like midnight with me. So look, and I got this shell cracker, man. He's like, it's hard to do. It's like he's huge, like he's big, So I hook him and I throw him out by this log jam here, and about 15 minutes later, I'm on the phone, and that rod, it just goes, thump. And I said, okay. I said, so that's typical flathead, right? So I said, well, Jacob, I said, something's unusual here, man. I said, I because I'm fishing this log jam. I'm like, oh, it's going to be a miracle fish. And it was. So dude, look, man. So I hung up, and I went to that fish, and it's just, that rod's barely going. And, and you're like, man, I need to reel. Don't reel. So, but here's the thing. I did kind of something unusual. Normally, I anchor up and throw my rods downriver. Well, I actually anchored past the log jam and throwed one, which was the shell cracker, on the opposite side of the log jam, where it would essentially create a current break. So that rod's going down. So I pick it up and I let them pull, and I sweep, like do an artificial hook set because I'm using circle hooks. And son, when I done that, it was on, man.
Wow.
It was incredible. So this fish, Stacy, I'm telling you, it was just taking off and peeling drag. I didn't know what I had. Eventually, the fight was over. I grabbed the fish because I couldn't get them in the net, and I grabbed them. I put them in the boat, and buddy, let me tell you, I still didn't know what I had. I said this thing is unbelievable, man. So I called my buddy back and I weigh him, and he said, "Well, how much you weigh?" I said, "Man, he's at least 65 pounds." He's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, I think so." I weigh him. And it says 82.1 in the net. And I'm like, I start laughing. I said, no, I got to reset my scale. So I do it again. It's 81.6. And I'm freaking out. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, hold on. I said, okay, 78. The net weighs this. I'm within ounces of this thing, man. And the rest of the story, long story short, we all went to Easy Bait and Tackle. They got about a 300-gallon tank. We had the air pumps going, dropped a couple bags of ice in there, had the G juice in there, a lot of G juice, had the water going. Got it certified. Biologist come certified it, and it actually was the state record. So it was
wow.
It was a dream come true. It was.
Hey, Tyler, do you know Brent Townsend?
Yeah, Brent Town is very good, a very good friend of mine. He is a flathead master, man.
Man, hey, you know something, man? I've been telling Brent for a couple of years now. I got to get up there and go fishing with y'all.
Yeah, come
Hey,
on.
there's a guy on here by the name of Redneck Catfishing. You know them?
Yeah, redneck catfish. Yeah.
Look what he just said about you.
Yeah. Well, hey, that's true most of the time. For real. He's got a point.
Yeah. Well, hey, Tyler, y'all got I see what you do a lot of YouTube, maybe TikTok or something other. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What's the name of your thing there with what it is?
So I'm kind of, getting my hands into a little bit of all of it at one time, and I'm trying to figure out what's working and what's not really working. And I tell you what's not working: YouTube. Okay. So, but a lot of people are saying like YouTube Shorts might be the new thing to consider. Since I'm already posting like a lot of reels on Facebook, I've just started up my official TikTok page, Tyler Barnes, and I've been going live a couple times, and that's been pretty good. And so I'm kind of, I'm all over the place so far. So no set in stone anywhere, but I've always been on Facebook.
Yeah. Hey, well, Tyler, tell us. I know there's a lot of guys on here. You do you fish for blues or both of them, or you try to just stick with? I mean, what is your preference?
Yeah, so the rivers here in eastern North Carolina are very well known for their flathead catfish. So now there's blues, channels, and flatheads in all of the rivers around me. So you can go catch whatever you want to. But if you're looking for a really like a trophy fish, you're not going to really catch what I consider a trophy blue catfish in Neuse River. So I have fished the Neuse River for, golly, since I was 8 or 9 years old with my dad and stuff. I'm 27 now, and the biggest I've ever caught 68 pounds, and that was like a miracle. Like that was unheard of. It's still unheard of. So it was crazy. But normally you can go and catch your blue cats 15 to 40 pounds.
Chad, I'm gonna interrupt. He says the biggest he's caught yet is nothing but a 68-pound blue cat.
Just a 68.
Well, look, hold on now, Chad. I could have swore he just said 109 was caught. So,
hey, it was, but hey, the 68's a bigger now.
That don't happen every day neither, does it?
Yeah. So no, that was a big fish, but like on average, if you catch a 30-pounder in any of these rivers around me, like the Neuse River, Cape Fear River, Chowan River, out west a little bit, PD River. If you catch them 30 to 40 pounds, that's a good fish, man. But our rivers, as far as real trophy catfish, would be the flathead catfish.
Yeah. Now, flathead fishing. What's your preferred bait? I mean, is there something that when I'm fishing to go target and try to catch some monster flathead? What are you wanting to use for bait, and how do you set up for that?
Yeah, so each state has their own like regulations as far as if you can use game fish or live bait. There's different creel limits, so that's something definitely to be careful about, because man, people see me throw a bait out there and they're like, man, that's illegal, man. I'm like, well, not in North Carolina, it's not. So there's a lot of that, but really, honestly, the flatheads are not really like picky. Like they're gonna hit it. I believe if you put it in front of them, they're gonna get it. But now, just honestly, your brim. If I'm going, if you and Chad come with me one day and say, "Tyler, let's go catch some flatheads," I'm gonna have my live well full of brim. Okay, brim. But my favorite. Now, I will tell you, I have been using different variety of baits for a long time, and I will tell you, for what, I don't know if it's because they're more lively or they're just gigantic, but Shellcracker has by far put more 50-plus pound flatheads in the boat for me than any other live brim, any robin, bluegill. And Shellcracker just man, it's like I don't know what it is, but my confidence goes from here to boom, it's up there. When I got him out in my best spots, I believe I got a shot.
Yeah, and you know something, Tyler. I used to do a lot of flathead fishing on this river, local river to mine. It don't seem like we got them here like we used to, but I was brown. I wanted live brown. But if I could ever catch me, I think they call them, every now and then I would catch one of my cast net. I finally had to look him up. They call them quillback suckers. It looks sort of like a drum, but of a long thing. I'm like, if I ever get one of them jokers in my net, I'm like, we're fixing to catch a monster catfish.
Is that it?
Well, he looks something like that.
So anyway, that's a good bait too. So we're gonna talk about him though, anyway, it's like I got a sucker fish in there I caught with the cast net. I said he'll look good in my fish tank. But I got like a little flathead catfish in there too. So anyway, I have fun watching them, and it's actually pretty cool to watch. Like I've had a blue catfish in there for some time. And I've got this flathead in here. I've had him in here for a while. And how they, just watching them and what they do just in this fish tank is actually pretty cool. Something I noticed is the flathead is always sitting on top of this log or underneath it. So he's always there. Now, when I had a blue catfish, he wasn't worried about any of the cover in the tank. He was just in midway of the water column, always suspended. He was never on bottom, never at the very. He was just always suspended, and I take that to heart. Like I know it's a fish tank, but that's why I think like certain rigs definitely present baits better to certain fish. And that's just a random thought we talking about that.
Tyler, you're not the onlyest one. There's a guy. His name is Michael Smith. He's out in Texas. He did do some guiding out there. But when I would talk to him, he had a fish tank in his house. He had some catfish in it. And he told me, he said, I always watch how they act. He said, I watch them when the weather changes and when these things happen, I watch what they do. He says, and they act different as the weather's changing and temperature. He says, they act different.
Yeah, they do.
He said, I try to just keep up with how they respond to this, that, and another.
That's
I'm
right.
gonna have to get me one put in my house. That may be my new fish finder.
Then you'll be like, oh, that's what a catfish looks like.
Oh.
Hey, Stacy, I'm bad when I go fish MRM. I go to the Bass Pro Shops and see what them fish are doing over there.
Hey, got Caleb Page in the house with us. Caleb, thank you for tuning in with us tonight, man.
Yes, sir.
And guys, I think the new bounty's out for this year.
It's out.
Hey, they just reset it, man. I reckon January the 1st. Starting again. They're looking for another state record.
Man, pumped up about that.
Hey,
Nobody beats me to it.
Oh. Chad, what you got on your side, man?
man, just a lot of, hang on a second here. Bobby's in the house with us. Wayne Reed said hearing Tyler's excitement, he's going to make him take a trip to Gunnersville the second week in springtime.
Yeah, and Gunnersville is a flathead destination. It sure is.
I can't believe Wayne fishes up there because he's going to have to get the dust off his anchor if he goes up there.
Hey, well, I may take it, Brent. I may take you and Tyler up on this. I may have to come up there and hop on the boat and let's three go out. And let's go fishing.
Yeah, let's do it, man. That'd be a good time. We'll go to Brent's spot so you actually catch something.
So you can find out where they at.
Where he's beating me at.
Oh,
sure.
Team Grasshoppers in the house. Eric Fowler, man, what's going on, Eric? Got my fishing partner here with me, Joey Kirby. Joey, be getting your arms and your wrists, get them all ready, man, to hang into a big catfish.
Joey, you need to get your arms ready to pull that anchor. I know what's fixing to happen.
I'm gonna offer to help pull it up some this time.
Yeah. Joey, stop by and get you some 20-pound zip ties so you can at least break them things.
I can tell them what not to get. I'm going to tell this story, guys, just for a second. The anchor that I got is one of the anchors I designed. And I was using zip ties from AutoZone, and they rated for what, 30, 40 pounds. And it seemed like you throw it out and it hit real hard and the zip tie breaks. And you start to pull it up, just the least little thing, the zip tie breaks. So I got tired of the zip ties breaking. Well, I go on Amazon and I see these zip ties. It's rated for 250 pounds. I said, that's what I need right there. So I got me a bag of them. I hooked them things on there. Let me tell you something. You will almost break the rope. Joey let me know real quick. Them zip ties was way too big.
Joey called them motor mounts.
That's about what they are. I did find some that was rated for about 70 pounds, so we went back to them because you ain't gonna break them 250 pounds.
Well, now let me tell you what else you don't want to do. If you run out of zip ties, do not, under any circumstances, take 80-pound leader line and wrap it around about 4 times and tie that off neither.
That ain't gonna break neither, is it?
That ain't gonna break neither. Not even in the Mississippi River.
I think Joey was pulling on that anchor and said, I thought this zip tie would break. I think we might have fished for a while before I ever told him, Joey, it was 250 pounds zip tie.
I thought we was going to sink our boat trying to get the one loose over there on the Mississippi River. I told John, if I ever get it up, I'm taking my pocket knife and cutting this.
That's funny.
Hey, Nathan, you probably right. Don't be saying much, man. Keep that quiet. And yeah, we probably won't be far apart because that is on my list. So you'll probably see me.
Brent said, "Don't double wrap a zip tie neither."
Hey, Chad, you know what they always say? They say, how do you know all this? I said, a lot of
I done it.
Error.
Done been there and done that.
Done been there and done it. Done tried it.
Hey, Tyler, tell us a little bit about your rig and how you tie up and what you. I mean, we know you target log jams and stuff like that, but tell us how you rig up and that kind of fun stuff, bud.
How long you like your leader and stuff like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So guys, I keep it real simple, man. So as far as my reel is concerned, I'm a fan. I've used a bunch of reels, and there's a lot of great reels that work. But I prefer to use the Penn Fathoms, the 20 size level lines. Now I've used a bunch of reels. That's just what seems to be my preference there. As far as braid goes, I've used a variety of braids. I would probably say my favorite brand of braid is kind of expensive, but I like Daiwa J braid. It's very smooth. It holds its color very well. It's super strong. And I use anywhere from 120 to 150 pound braid. Which is definitely overkill. So it's definitely overkill, and you don't need 150 pound braid. But the way I feel about it, if I'm
better to have it not need it than not have it and need it.
Exactly, because if I'm gonna put a 80 pound braid or 100, why don't I just go ahead and make sure that fish ain't gonna break me off and do 150? It ain't gonna throw no different. Now, when you snag it up, it might be a little bit different getting it out. But I'll use a 150 pound braid, and I use the heavy action Hellcat rods by Catch the Fever. That seems to be the action that works best for me in the rivers that I'm fishing. So, especially fishing this heavy cover too. So I need something real sturdy, but with a soft tip too. So them flatheads, like we were talking earlier, when they grab brim, and then that typical flathead bite, you'll see that thump, and then it's slow pull down.
Slow pull.
That's why I like that soft tip. And then when he finally goes with it, the backbone kicks in, and the circle hook gets him. So that's the action. The extra heavy is a great rod too for this, but a little stiff for for my flatheads that I catch. But they're all great. And so coming down to your leader, I keep it real simple. It's just your normal traditional sinker slider rig, and I don't know if I have. No, I should have brought one in here, but I ain't know if I had something laying around. But just your regular sinker slider rig with your sinker going to your barrel swivel with a 100-pound heavy cover leader line by Catch the Fever. About anywhere really, there's no perfect size. Like I don't bust out the measuring tape and say this is it. You know, I take it, the spool, and just pull it up my arm and just that's it. It's like 18 inches, 20, 22, somewhere in there. I don't like a real short leader, but just eight, anywhere under 2 feet. But I would say 18 inches would be the best. And right now, I use the 9/0 Charlie Brown circle hooks. And what I like to do with them is they come in line, but I like to take
offset them.
Yeah. I think that is critical. Now, does it help? Can I prove that it helps? Probably not. But I think it does. It looks cool. Makes me look like I know what I'm talking about. I'm like, guys, check this out. And I'm like, whoa, So, but definitely I snail my hook. But that's it, And if I'm fishing like right now, I'm transitioning over to definitely. Well, I have transitioned over to blue catfish. And same leader, same exact rig, but with the float, making it a Santee Cooper rig, about 6 inches or so from the hook. That seems to work very well for me. Now, I'm a huge fan of a 3-way rig, but not Nora Rivers. It's just too shallow to be beneficial, in my opinion. Now, James River, when at the time that I was there, because I don't fish it a lot, but I seen, for me, it was way better success with a 3-way rig over a Carolina rig. It was obvious that it was performing better. It's even staggering, throwing the same baits. I mean, it was obvious the 3-way on the James was my go-to. So if I was to fish any deeper rivers, I would probably look at the 3-way. That for me.
Tyler, you made mention a while ago, and something that I'm very familiar with, and that in fishing for flatheads, I got about 10 rods on my boat.
Okay.
I got 2 different kind of rods, and one of them is a stiffer rod. Then I have one that has a tip to it, and I've got them ones with a tip to them. I do tight line. I mean, I'm anchor fishing with them, but I've got them for when I'm flathead fishing for that finicky bite. For the people who don't know, I want that flathead to be able to pull it over and let it back up, pull it over and let it back up. And because, hey, I have seen them fool with that thing seem like 10 minutes. And me just sitting there, you just want to jump. And I'm like, I can't get him right now. I'm going to miss him. And he'll pull it down. You think he's got it and he lets it back up. So I think that light tip is beneficial for him to be able to pull it over without feeling all that resistance right to start with.
I definitely think that.
Yeah. We've actually switched over to the Hellcats and the extra heavies, and man, the tip on those is actually softer than it is on the heavy action rods.
Okay.
I mean, dude, they are, yeah, they're awesome. You got that real soft tip, and then but dude, when it hits the backbone, hello, come on.
I see all these alligators. They're catching that. It'll catch a catfish, I think.
Yeah, if you catch an alligator with it, it'll catch a catfish.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so we switched over to those extra heavies, and man, I love that tip. That tip is just so sensitive that it's there. It's where it needs to be.
Right. Awesome.
Chad, what else you see in the chat, man?
Somebody said all that matters is if you know what you look like, you know what you're doing.
That's right.
All right, I'm gonna go back to this. You made mention about the Charlie Brown circle hooks. because them are actually like a hybrid type hook. And I used to use them for years. I would, to me, it's either the Charlie Brown circle hook, the Mad Catter XHD, which is a similar style, or a Kale hook. I'm like, hey, these hooks right here. I like them because you can actually, if you need to, you can set the hook on with the things.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes,
Yeah. Makes me feel a little bit more confident whenever I have to. When he's not creaming it, when I go to reel down or something, I feel like I still get him. Yeah.
Hey, I always fish with a hook that I can set it, because I'm going to reach and grab it. And when I feel him going over with it, I like to pop him one time.
As he tries to cross his eyes.
I like to know how I'm putting that hook to the roof of his mouth.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey, Tyler, and there ain't nothing like reaching and hitting that thing and it going back down like that right there. There's nothing like that.
But matter of fact, this year, funny you said that, I had a fish. So like you, I fish 12 rods, and the one on the side of the boat that I throw, right over here against the bank, something grabbed it, and it was just dragging along. I said he just grabbed it, moved down the bank, and the line's kind of slack, but you can see him going. It's okay. I said and he's still going, so I'm gonna pick the rod up real slow, and I'm gonna hold it here off the side of the boat, and I'm over here like I'm about to lay into him, son. I'm telling you. So I'm thinking it's like a 10-pounder, just something. And he's going down the bank, and he's starting, the line's finally getting tight where I'm catching up with him. And then I let him go a little bit, and I sweep into him, and son, he whoa, and he goes, whoa, going nuts. Look, man, whoa. I said, okay, hold on. And he's like going under the boat and going crazy. It ended up being like a 50-pound flathead. And you're just thinking it's this little old fish.
Hey, flatheads will fool you, man. They'll sit there and just dink on it. You pour the coal to him, and it ends up being a 50 or 60.
I'm telling you, they'll fool you. Hey, listen, there's something here going on. I gotta address this. Because what about Cape Fear River Cats?
So as far as the series,
I don't know. They said, all right, so need to know Tyler's technique on Cape Fear River Cats. Because somebody else come back and says, I think everyone wants to know this.
For real.
Hey, that's what they said.
It's here.
Hey, he ain't want to let the secret out. He's like, I don't know what y'all know about.
For real.
Chad, he just looked like, I don't know how.
Listen, he done signed the disclosure thing. He gotta tell us now.
They're crazy. I don't know what they talk about, man. No. So I have I like I said, I have fished these rivers a long time, and I was reading Jamie's comment there. So I fished these rivers a whole lot. I fished them a long time, and I tell you guys, as you can see right over here, right there, I've actually got a poster board here for a seminar that I'm doing in Virginia in about 3 weeks. And on this board, and I'll share it with everybody right now too. I think that'll be good. There's 6 things, and I don't know if we all have. Y'all might, Stacy and Chad, y'all might have your checklist that you go by when you go fishing. And I don't know that these techniques here work for all rivers, okay? But for the rivers that I fish, including the Noose River, the Cape Fear, Chowan River, Roanoke River, PD River, every single river that I've been on, I have applied this same set of rules that I've developed mentally. Now, they can be a bunch of crap, and I'm just thinking I know, but I honestly, when I go anywhere on any body of water, now lake fishing, don't ask me nothing about a lake, I'm not your guy. But a river, smaller river systems, I apply these rules here wherever I go. And once I learned that I really truly believe in these right here, my success as far as tournament fishing and catching fish has gone up dramatically. So somebody said they want to know the tips or the tricks for the Cape Fear River, and I'm about to show them to you. So it's there's no secret spot, right? So so I don't know if y'all can see this.
And we can see that.
Okay. So now, guys, there's some people there's some people that's gonna say, man, that guy's crazy, man. I don't believe that, and that's okay, because catfishing is an awesome sport, and it's full of opinions, and everybody likes their opinions and their thoughts. So this is mine, and I really hope some people try this stuff, because I think they might not think I'm too crazy once they do. Now, is this backwards on y'all's end?
No, we can see it.
Okay.
We can see it.
So number one, now this, like I said, this only applies to the bodies of water that I have fished. I haven't applied it across the world, but if you're fishing Noose, Cape, any smaller river, I'm pretty sure this will work. So my first rule is I believe in that the catfish are always feeding. If you're not catching fish, it's because you're not fishing in the right area, not because the fish are not feeding. Move to another area. Okay, so with that being said, I'll give you a prime example. And I was talking to a good buddy of mine. His name's Greg Blue, and he won a tournament this weekend. He called me. He said, Tyler, he said, man, you were right. He said, you were absolutely right. I said, Greg, I said, what you mean? He said, Tyler, he said, I trusted my gut. I went to another boat ramp. I caught 16 fish. Okay? Everybody that launched where I launched caught anywhere between 0 and 3 fish. Fishing in prime areas, prime conditions. We all had the same bait, and I know that because we all shared bait. So we're all using the same rig, same rod, same everything. If you're not where the fish are, you're not going to catch them. And once, and here's how I really learned this, is when I first started tournament fishing. I said, you know what? I've got all these poles, I've got these rigs, I've got the biggest brim, the freshest shad you could have, the eels, everything. I fished all night long and didn't catch nothing. But this guy weigh-in had 100 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, man, for a while, it made me think I didn't know what I was doing. But then come to find out how these fish migrate up and down these rivers, because they travel like you wouldn't believe. Well, y'all know. But blues, these fish move as the waters come up and down, and you've got to pattern these fish and find them. And once you find them, they're gonna hit. So as all of us caught 0, everybody at the boat ramp this weekend, man, Tyler, that fishing sucked. That fishing was terrible. It was slow. It was a front. It was the barometric. It wasn't none of that. We weren't where the fish were. Okay, they moved. They're probably further upriver, where the shad and the perch are going up to spawn. Okay, so and that as these fish are following them, but my buddy at a different boat ramp slaughtered them. He said, Tyler, there wasn't nothing I could do wrong. So he was where majority of the fish have migrated.
Yeah,
so,
I agree with you.
So that's just me. So number 2. All right, let's see. Hold on here. Well, I'm getting mixed up. There we go.
There you go.
All right, so do not spend too much time in one spot. Give each spot 30 to 40 minutes. If he is not there, he's not there. Remember, the catfish are always feeding.
Put them on the clock.
Put them on the clock.
Yeah, so that's me. That's me, guys. When I set up in my spot, I'm in a hurry. I'm moving. I'm sitting there. Majority of the fish that I catch them in the first 10 to 20 minutes. Or before I can even sit down sometimes. But if
Sometimes before you get all the rods out.
that's right. So if I'm fishing this and I got a game plan, I'm gonna hit this section here. When they're here, they could be all through here in these bends and the ledges and this cover. I said, man, I have slaughtered them here, and we all get stuck. We all get caught up in those areas that produce force at one time, and that's not going to work every time. Soon as you move and pattern the fish, it really, 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 it's an eye opener. So I give each spot about 30 to 40 minutes, and if I don't catch them in 3 spots, I'm making a run. I may run 10 miles, 20 miles.
Yep.
I have done that so many times where, okay, maybe the water has came up so high that it's pushed them way down river. I'll start way down river. I ain't caught nothing. I'll say, okay, maybe they haven't got to here. So I'll make another 10 miles. I'm starting to catch a few fish. I'll move another 5. Bam, bam, 100 pounds. I mean, I'm slaughtered. And all my buddies at the boat ramp or whoever, or vice versa. Maybe I did bad and somebody did really great. But it's either I was where the fish were and I had a great day. Because another example, there was a tournament December 5th, I think it was called Christmas on Cape Fear River. I went TikTok live during the whole tournament. I caught 35 fish. I caught fish in every spot. There was nothing that I could do wrong. Not one thing. I couldn't mess up. But I had fished that river for so long, I knew with this water temp and at that water level exactly where they were going to be held up at. And I slaughtered them. Now, I talked to some guys. At the boat ramp and said, Tyler, I caught one fish all day. Well, they were 20 miles south of me. And the fishing was terrible. So you just went where the fish were, man. You got to find them. So, in another example, 1 month later, I fished the same area this weekend as hard as I could. On TikTok yesterday, I caught 4. It fished as hard as I could. They moved. They're gone again. They moved up. But if I went another 20 miles up, I bet I could kill them.
Yeah. Tyler, I seen that when I started tournament fishing. The same thing you just said. They bite every day.
Yeah.
We just ain't fishing the right spot because every time you go to a tournament, some people gonna come in and say, "Hey, we didn't catch nothing." Other people gonna come in and say we slaughtered them.
Yeah.
And what I have noticed, I began to ask questions. What location was y'all? And man, one may be fishing down this way, other one 20 miles up the river. And they were slaughtering them. And I'm like, what I have discovered, it seems like if I can't catch them in one spot, I don't just move a mile. We're going to make a run and go 10, 15 miles yonder way and see what's going on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So and that's why pre-fishing using the rules that I've got here are so beneficial, because if I go pre-fishing and I know these rules, I know I'm not fishing their tournament day if I didn't do good. But if I'm that's pre-fishing for anybody. If y'all go pre-fishing on Mississippi River and get skunked, you probably ain't going to go to that spot. But this, be confident in, it wasn't a cold front. It wasn't a warm front. It wasn't the rising water. It was they had moved. I'm not where they're at. Okay, so number 3. I ain't going to hold this up too long. I know we got other things to talk about. Number 3, so always use bait that's available to the catfish, brim, shad eels, etc. Now, I mean, you catch catfish on anything. You throw a hot dog out there, a chicken, or a whole chicken. You take a whole chicken and throw them out there, and you probably catch a catfish eventually. But I'm using bait that is available to the fish on a daily basis.
Yes, sir.
But, but not saying nothing's wrong with chicken, because I'm telling you, I've used chicken breast, and believe it or not, I have been very successful using chicken breast. But me, I'm gonna use shad and eels this time of year. So number 4, I think we just talked about this one. So number 4 says, be patient when the fish bite. Never reel down on a fish too early. Make sure the fish has the bait in its mouth and makes a run. Because guys, I can't tell you how many times he's got it and he's doing this, and I'm like, I need to go get him. And then I pull it right out. I've learned to just let him cream it. If I just love to see him grab it and just fold it or hold it, and when you just know. But over time, I've learned I have missed so many what I felt like was big fish over being too excited.
Yes, sir. I agree with you.
So number 5, this was my biggest one, and I'm still having a harder time with this one because every one of us catfishermen that spot in our head, okay? We're like, oh, the 100-pounder right here, son. And it's gonna produce for me. And I tell you this, I get caught up in it. Same thing when I caught that state record catfish. I never fished that spot ever in my life. Not one time. I have been back to it dozens of times and have yet to catch a fish.
Well,
so number five says, never leave fish to find fish. If you are catching fish, do not let that spot in your head convince you to move unless it's in the area you're already catching fish. So if I've got that key spot in my head, I'm like, man, I've caught some monsters here. But it's 10 miles that way, and I've been catching fish all night. Don't go to that spot. More than likely, it's probably going to disappoint you. When you're like, man, I shouldn't have gave my morning bite up for that spot when I've been killing them here all night long.
You know, Paul, I think it was Paul Blackwell. Paul, what is his name from up there? Santee Cooper area. Y'all help me out.
there's Paul Blackwell.
Yeah, Paul Blackwell. Up there, he come out and said something one time. I was watching him on Catfish Weekly or something, and he made that same comment. Never leave fish to find fish.
Never leave them to find them.
Never leave them to find them.
It has burned me, man. It has burned me so many times because you're fishing an area and you're having such good success, but man, that spot or those spots in your head, no matter how many big ones you've caught there in the past, if you're in a different section, just trust your gut and say, I need to just keep fishing here. I need to keep fishing around here. Try a different spot around here. That's really, really been tough for me just because I have caught big fish in different but I'm getting better. I'm getting better. And the last rule is let's see here. Hold on. There we go. Let me move it a little closer. If you are at rule number 6 and not having luck, so guys, the people that always, the people that want to know, Tyler, what's your secret? Man, just keep fishing, man. I tell you these fish move so much and it's hard to paddle. I've got notebooks full of notes. And I've studied this hard because I really, in my heart, thought that I could pattern these fish out so good I'd never lose. Impossible. I don't think it's possible. You can get a general idea. You can get a general idea of where these fish might be or might move to. But guys, I have had notebooks full of notes, taking everything. The day, the weather outside, the high and the low, the moon phase, the water temp, the water level, barometric pressure. I don't know if I said moon phase, but all of that stuff. And I have been able to find days with the same scenario a year later and not have any luck whatsoever and do it over and over. I stopped writing notes. It's useless for me.
Tyler, I'm going to tell you this. So about 3 years ago, it maybe go back a little bit further than that. I mean, I had the same mindset. My thoughts was like yours. I'm like, I've about got this down. I've just about figured this out. Man, I'm busting them every time I'm coming out here.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I'm like, I can't catch a fish now. I'm like, man, I can't figure them out. And I was going on my phone, and I would go through, and I would just keep notes on my phone. Today, I smoked them. This was the weather temperature. This is the time of the year. And I'm about like you. I just quit keeping notes. So I'm like, I don't think it ain't adding up. I can't figure it out. There's no pattern that I can get them by. I'm like, you just got to ride and look for these jokers.
That's so right, man. Because I can't tell you now on a lake. I don't know now. I don't know that if you could pattern them. You know, if I had one thing, you know, I've tried fishing lakes a little bit, and man, guys, I'm gonna tell you, until I get used to it, it ain't for me. It ain't for me, Jack. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. Look, man.
Hey, let me ask you this, Tyler. You ever drug baits before?
No, sir.
Yeah, that would
be that change your life.
And especially when you move to a lake.
Yeah.
Lake fishing,
completely
all I've
different.
ever done is anchor fish. When I went to a lake, I was anchor fishing on a lake, and I'm like, this ain't working. And that's when I figured out, hey, I got to learn how to drag baits to try to cover some ground in these lakes, because these fish seem to be just scattered.
Yeah, and you know, it's definitely in my heart to. I don't think I'll get any better unless I go to different bodies of water and apply the time. You know, you can I can keep fishing Neuse River and Cape Fear and all these rivers and fish the same spots over and over and over. But I'll never get better as an angler if I don't venture out more and learn more places and different types of fishing and see how I can do on different places. So what my goal was when I first started, I really started tournament fishing, you know, probably when I was like 18 or so. So I've been on it about 10 years. So what I like to do is find one body of water, starting with the noose, and fish these tournaments and fish and watch people and watch. Don't think people's not watching you, because people's watching you. If they know if you're being consistent, they may never talk to you. But if you're doing good, I'm watching you.
Hey, if I'm ever on Wheeler and I see Stacy Gaston, when I go by him, I just reach over and hit a waypoint on my fish finder.
Oh, number one, Stacy.
He was fishing in this area, wasn't he?
But you know, man, it's such an incredible sport. And my love for competition, it's kind of like a disease, because I love tournament fishing. Like I'm probably beyond addicted. And you know, I don't say I need to go win every tournament, because I don't. But I do want to be competitive. I don't like to go out there consistently and not do good, because if there's fish in that river, there's a way to catch them.
Yeah. I think me and Chaz talked about that. You know, you get in a tournament that's got 100 boats or so, man, it's hard to win that tournament. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm like, I want to be competitive. I don't want to know what I fish with the best that was here. I might not win it, but when you look around and you see where these top weights is at, and you say, well, we was in the top 20% of 100 boats. Hey, this is some of the best guys that was there. I'm like, everybody else may not be happy, but I'm happy. I'm like, hey, I felt like I competed. I wasn't, but just a little bit off of, you know, being here and the money. So I feel pretty good about myself, and I try to learn something, you know.
And hey, a lot of times it'll be 10 pounds that separates first through 10th place.
Oh,
it will be.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there, hey, you might be like me. You're driving home and you're thinking, if we had just had, we caught one that weighed 28, if we just had one that weighed 40, we'd have moved from 20th place to 10th place, you know.
Exactly.
If I could have, you know, a lot of tournaments are won and lost on that under.
Yeah.
You get you a good under, and they can make the difference.
Yeah. Well, listen, we need to get ready to hop off of here tonight. Tyler, man, it has been an honor.
It's been a great show.
Hey, Tyler, I don't know if you want to give a shout out to anybody special, man, but take a few minutes here if you want to give a shout out to somebody and any kind of sponsor, anything. I want to give you that opportunity, man.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. And guys, I've been using gear from Catch the Fever for a long time. I ain't gonna say I was there the very first day the rods come out, but I was there. I've been using them for years now, and I tell you what, man. Caleb Page and Tony, Amanda, Nick, Rob, all them people at Catch the Fever, they have become such good friends to me, and have been there for me. And I tell you, man, when I caught that flathead, Caleb Page, I got a hold of him, or some buddies got a hold of him for me, because I'm over here like spazzing out, so hyperventilating. So some buddies is calling them and stuff, and saying, man, Tyler caught this fish, and Caleb got up and drove down here 2.5 hours from Roxborough, and at like 2 a.m. to come see this fish for 5 minutes. Come shake my hand, meet me for the first time, congratulate me, made the video of the state record. Just he made sure that Catch the Fever made sure that was gonna be the best day of my life, and it was. And they went above and beyond like they have done for me and many other anglers. I'm not the only guy, and they have really showed me so much love and support. And any suggestions, any thoughts that I have, they're there with me, and and I will definitely recommend Catch the Fever to anybody any day of the week. Not just because I'm sponsored by them, but it's being so much more than just a fishing company, man. It's not even. It's hard to explain until you do it. It's like when you see them. It's like going to your family reunion. Hey man, what's up?
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
Yeah, so they're all great people, and but as far as any sponsors or anything, that's really all the sponsors I got. So
hey Tyler, throw this out. What is the name of your TikTok? What you do on social media? What is the name of them?
So the only one I'm really diving into right now, if anybody's interested in seeing like any live feeds, I'd encourage them to go to my TikTok channel. Just go to TikTok and search Tyler Barnes _ catfishing, and you'll see me there. So I had another account, and me and a buddy kind of just, he's got that account now, and I've got this account, and I kind of started my own thing here, and it's been a blessing. Yesterday, I don't know, were any of you guys in that live feed yesterday by chance?
No, I wasn't.
Well, guys, I'm gonna tell you, I was on there for the first time ever, and I don't know if you guys get on TikTok a lot, but it was such a humbling experience. I'm getting in there thinking I'm gonna get, 5,000 likes or something, and like, 10 people. Guys, that was like, it ended up being 183,000 people, 7.5 million likes. People, it was, I was at that episode was actually ranked 7th in the world on day one.
Wow.
It was so crazy, man. I was so humbled by that experience, and it was a blessing to be surrounded by such awesome people. And
yes, sir. Well, Tyler, we're supposed to get ready to jump over here. Chad, you got anything else you want to say?
Man, I don't. Just appreciate you doing this, Tyler, and enjoyed it. Had a good time as always.
We had a lot of people in the chat tonight. A lot of I want to thank everyone that was in the chat. A lot of activity there. Thank y'all so much for y'all's involvement in this chat, because guys, y'all the one that make a lot of this program what it is, just by being in here, being able to ask questions and put input in. We appreciate that so much. And Tyler, it's been an honor having you on here tonight, man.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate everything you guys did for me tonight.
Yes, sir. Guys, we've been to jump over here, and nothing don't happen. We'll see y'all again next week. 7 o'clock Central Time.
Hey, Stacy, one thing right here. Keep Joe Granada in your prayers. He had a massive heart attack today, and
yes, sir.
he's not doing.
Please do that, guys. We will see y'all next week.
See y'all.